Okay, this is another test video. This time I have a second camera, a 4K 48 megapixel USB external camera. I want to check to see that it's going to be working. Didn't change any of the settings for ingestion or anything like that. So we should be shooting at 720p, 60 frames per second. Just doing a quick check on OBS. And let me check to make sure. It does look like we're streaming. Excellent condition. So that all looks good. Looking at OBS settings, not dropping any frame rate. CPU is running at about 40, 35-40%, 60 frames per second. So we're going to go to a header with a camera. So that's the original webcam Logitech 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and now we're going to go to the external. This is the 4K camera. Actually put the full HD wide angle lens on it. And you notice that the resolution is a little bit different. So movement patterns, left, right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Large movement. Looks as though it's doing okay. A pretty good shot. And it's not really too bright in here. Let's turn it a little bit more light. A little bit of light off the side. So it looks pretty good. Let's go back to the other camera. Then back and forth. Title screen. And fade to black. Minor adjustment. Adjusted the resolution of the 4K USB camera to 1600 by 900. Didn't adjust the FPS at all. I want to make sure that we're not falling behind, that the lips match video with what we're hearing. At the beginning, drop frame 0, live. CPU again about 35 to 40%, 60 frames per second. Everything's still in the green. Looking at the live stream, excellent condition. Don't have anything there saying that we have an issue. So we're going to go to the camera. This is the webcam. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. ABC. 1, 2, 3. I don't see that on. Here we go. So I made that switch on the live stream. Still have excellent connection. Everything seems to be running fine there. Gonna go to the USB camera is not there. Interesting. So we're not dropping anything, but for some reason I'm not getting anything out of the USB camera. So I'll have to figure out what's going on there. Okay, looks like we're going. On the live side. Excellent condition. Everything looks like it's running. Looking at OBS, drop frames are 0. CPU again running about 40, jumped to 45%. Not such a bad deal. kbps is 4678. Everything looks good. Put the camera, the USB camera, back to its defaults. Flipping over to YouTube Studio, checking it. Excellent connection. Don't see anything that looks weird there. All right, go to the header with the webcam. Shooting for a while with that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Checking sync. No drop frames. CPU jumped up to 58%, 60% almost. 4759. Back over to studio. Still excellent condition and connection. Don't see any problems there. Gonna let it go a little bit. Now we're gonna go to the external cam USB. It did set a little different resolution there. Okay. CPU running at about 61, 62%, 63%, 63%, 62%, so it's working a little bit harder. kbps 46, 45, 60%, so yeah, it's working about 20% harder. Things look to be within normal, 54, 55 frames per second. So actually it's falling behind the frames a little bit. And I get a warning, check the resolution, current resolution, which is not optimal. I'm going to switch back to the other camera. Give it a little second. 51. Check the video resolution. Okay, the video resolution 16 by 9, not optimal. It seems as though I'm getting that whenever I go to that other camera. So it doesn't like that resolution for the other camera. We're still falling behind a little bit on frames per second, 50 frames per second. May have to drop this to 30 frames per second to see if it's going to keep everything good. Go back to the other camera, do a countdown to check, see what the sync is. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, A, B, C. All right, cutting this. Okay, this time I've set the OBS to be 30 frames per second instead of 60 frames per second as the common. Looks like stuff's running right at 30 FPS. Both cameras are set to the highest FPS, which means they should be above what that is, so it should be able to drop back and not have to work to keep up. Looking at the settings, no dropped frames on OBS. CPU's running much lower, about 15-16%, 30 FPS. My kbps is 4675, which it was set to 45, so we're doing good there. Flipping over to YouTube, excellent condition. Don't see that I have any problems here. Everything looks fine. Going to flip over. We're going to go to the webcam right after I answer my wife. Hello. Hey. I'll be there in a bit. All right. I'm downstairs, but I'm doing a recording right now. All right. Bye. Okay, let's check to see. Still excellent condition there. CPU is 15%, 30 frames per second, so it does look like it's taking less work. So let's throw some video at it. Here's the webcam. Webcam test 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Check the sync. CPU usage jumped up to about 28%, 30%. Still right on 30 frames per second. kbps is about 45 to 49, so that all looks good. Flipping over to our studio, looks like it's running fine. Oh, I just got the check. So it said, please check video resolution, current resolution 1600 by 900, which is not optimal. So still need to resolve that issue. I'm going to copy that, see if there's something we can do to do that. It may not be a big issue if everything else is running fine, but I would like for it to be right. So I'm going to drop that into a notepad so we can look that up. So now I'm going to shift over to the other camera. So this is the USB camera. No drop frames. CPU jumped a little bit. It's about 25, 26%, 27%. Still rock solid at 30 frames per second. kbps is 4660, 29%. So it looks like we're under 30%. So it's having to do less work to keep that frame rate up. Back over to YouTube. I went from an excellent connection to a good connection. I'll note that just in case. I don't think that my internet changed anything, but it's possible that maybe somebody upstairs got on and pulled a little more bandwidth, but this should be fine. Let's do a test roll. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, ABC. Okay, everything looks fine here. I'm going to do some switching back and forth. Let's see, everything looks fine there. Actually dropped back to excellent condition on YouTube Studio, good connection. So it's right at good, excellent. We'll back to the other camera, so back to the webcam. Again, we got the resolution. So it looks like we get that resolution whenever we change from one camera to another camera. Let's see if I get it on this whenever it jumps. Okay, so I'm not getting that when I go to the webcam. So I'm not always getting that warning. Getting that warning sometimes. Live video, CPU staying below 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Still sitting on good connection. Gonna go to the title screen, throw in some noise. Got the warning again about the current resolution not optimal. That's still running camera at that point on YouTube Studio. Alright, I'm gonna shut it down. Okay, I think in this case I have all the cameras set to the same resolution. OBS is set to that resolution, so everything should be set now to 1280 by 720, which my understanding is that's 720p. Frame rate should be at 30. I'm guessing that YouTube will adjust to 720p as it brings it in. So, looking at just a text screen on OBS, no frames dropped. CPU is running about 13%, 30 frames per second, 4672, so we're above the kilobits per second that we need. We could actually drop down to 4,000 if we had to. All right, we're going to go to first the webcam. So there's the webcam itself. CPU jumped to about 27, 24, so somewhere around 25, 27 CPU, still 30 frames per second, right about 4,500 kbps. Don't see any dropped frames. Flipping over to YouTube, still have an excellent connection. Don't see any errors or anything. Doesn't say anything about a resolution issue. Do a little bit of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. ABC, 1, 2, 3. The lazy fox jumped over the brown fence. That's wrong. Okay. Checking the sync. Now we're going to go to the other camera. This is the 4K camera, still set at the same resolution. CPU is running at about 27, 25, 30 frames per second, 46 kbps, no dropped frames. Everything's looking fine. Do a countdown: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, ABC. Checking sync. Flipping over to YouTube, still have an excellent connection. No errors reported by anything yet. So it looks like everything's syncing up and it's running well. We're going to let that run a little bit. I'm going to come back over here. We're going to run a little bit. Okay. Doesn't seem to be having any problems. Going to jump back and forth through things real quickly. That. Jump around looks fine. So it looks like 720p, which would be regular HD. That would be the image running at 1280 by 720, is going to be at least the optimal settings for my setup on my OBS setup, my computer, the cameras and the mic and all this other stuff. My hope is that all we have to do is set up those settings on the laptop of Pages and we should be good, or very close. We'll have to check again for the CPU usage, drop frames, that kind of stuff. So been running for close to 5 minutes. So I'm going to go back through everything real quick just to check. Again, 0 dropped frames. CPU is running about 25%, 30 frames per second. kbps is 4,700 right now, so things are running fine. I'm running on the webcam. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. ABC. 1, 2, 3. The other camera. Okay. Still running fine. CPU's running about 25%, peaked to 27. So I think we're going to be fine on that. 30 frames per second, about 4,800 kbps. Again, no drop frames. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Check 1, 2, 3. ABC, EFG. Might be falling behind a little bit on the lip sync. Abba, 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 abba. Hello. 1, 2, 3. A, B, C. That is on the 4K cam. Now on the webcam, looks like it runs a little bit better. A, B, C, D, E, F, A, B, 1, 2, 3. Let's do this the right way. I need a clapper. Poor man's clapper. All right. Definitely getting behind just a little bit on that 4K camera. Back to the title screen. And gonna fade out. Okay. So it's 1080p time. The only thing I really did is I changed the one camera to 1080p, so the B1280, is that what it is? 1920 by 1080 is resolution. I also changed the setting in OBS. In OBS output, video. Oh no, I left that at 1920 by 1080. So I think all I did is I changed that one setting. They're in the same resolution or the same aspect ratio, so it shouldn't be a big deal. So I'm going to first go to the 4K cam. There's the 4K camera. 0 drop frames. CPU running a little higher. It's running at about 50%. So running at about 50%, 30 frames per second. kbps 45 to 5000. So everything looks there, although my processor is working harder to do that. When I go back over to the studio, excellent connection. I'm not getting any indication of a error or anything. Let it run just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go to the webcam. So this one's actually set to 720. So it's going to have to upscale a little bit to do that. CPU's running right about 50%. 51, 47, so about there. Still no drop frames. kbps about 4500 to 5000. So that's looking good. Looking over at YouTube Studio, that seems to be fine. Excellent connection. Everything else is good there. Going to run a couple of videos without sound. All right, a little bit of a sync test. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Looks like that's still a little off. Here's the webcam. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. ABC. And it looks like it's matching up better. Some quick changes. CPU is running right about 50. Hold it at 30 frames per second. Still got excellent connection, so might be able to get 1080p out of this. Gonna go to black and then stop the stream.